everybody, and thanks for joining us for the PHNX Suns pregame show, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you know whenever we are live. I'm Lindsay Smith. That's Saul Bookman. That's Espo. How you guys feeling today?
Oh, we're ready for this quickie. Let's get it done. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, this is going to be a really, really fast pregame show because we have some big news that just dropped that we're about to help out the Sun Devil guys with at 6:45. So,
one of these things is not like the other. One of these things just isn't the same.
Yeah, sorry. Y'all can twin. I support you. I'm not gonna be triplets though.
Let's get to the first topic. Let's dry or shrunken edition this.
So we've got the Suns and the Jazz tonight. Obviously, the last time these two teams faced off, it was not in favor of the Suns. They fell to the Jazz 134-133. Both of these teams are on the tail end of a back-to-back heading into tonight's game. I was out that game when they played the Jazz. What were the key takeaways that need to change for tonight's game?
Basically, don't go down by 19 points in the first quarter.
Yes.
To where you have to battle all the way back. Deandre Ayton should play more with more effort in the first three quarters than he did last time. Devin Booker can be as hot as he was all the way up until the fourth quarter, but this time maybe give him a little bit of rest so that way in the fourth quarter he actually has the gas to finish. And basically that's about it.
I think the biggest thing was just fucking stop Lauri Markkanen.
In that too.
I mean, that was the big thing. He kicked our ass. But these two teams are kind of in different trajectories right now. Last 8 games, Jazz are 2-6. That one of those 2 victories does include the 1-point victory against the Suns, but they're 1-3 without Mike Conley over the last 4. Conley again going to be out tonight, so that's in favor of the Suns as Colin Sexton moves into that starting lineup.
Also, they shot ridiculously good from 3 in that game too, which I expect to slow down a bit tonight as well.
Yeah, because that was a point of emphasis from Monty. I know he had mentioned that since that game that we can't be giving up that many points. And the Suns have done better since he addressed that with them and pointed out that, like, this is not who we are. We play defense, so let's get back to that.
Yeah, what did they give, 42 up in the first quarter, this Jazz team? It was one of the highest first quarters that they had all year, and they have been on lockdown in that first. But look, Jazz are giving up 125 points over the last 3 games that they've lost. So the Suns should be able to get their offense going tonight.
How much faith do you guys have in that we'll get back-to-back nights from DA, back-to-back good nights from DA?
Well, I feel pretty good. I feel like he realizes that his effort was kind of low and he was out of position a lot of times. And I'm sure that since that Jazz game, he does appear to have stepped it up on the defensive end. So I'm confident he can keep it going.
I'm 50%.
Last game, he got worked by Lauri Markkanen.
It all hinges on the first quarter. If DA doesn't have a good first quarter, he usually has a pretty pedestrian game. He needs to come out and he needs to play strong, take it to Kelly Olynyk or whoever winds up getting the assignment. If Markkanen winds up on him at times, just go out there, hit your hook shots like you were last night, go strong to the basket, take care of business early.
I feel like I'm at an 80%. I do think Deandre Ayton takes L's pretty personally sometimes. And I know last night he was joking in the locker room saying, like, we owe them one. So I don't know. I've got a good feeling about DA tonight. We had a question in the chat a little bit earlier. What are the chances DA goes over 30 again? Do you think? I don't know that we'll have a night like that.
He didn't have 30 last night, so he hasn't had 30 all season.
Yeah, it was 20.
So I don't know about again.
I don't know that he's ever gone back-to-back 28, 30-point games in his career. So if he does it, it'd be a pleasant surprise. I just don't
Maybe
see
the 20 mark.
Yeah,
I think I would be willing to buy into that a little bit more.
20 for sure.
Yeah.
Darth Vader actually has another good question. Do you think DA heard Barkley dog him on TNT, this motivating him a little a la Joel Embiid?
No.
You say no. I think
yes. He heard it.
I 1,000,000%
Totally.
think he did.
What?
DA is a very sensitive kind of guy. Like, I know that. And so if he heard that from somebody like that on a national platform, I guarantee you he was like, oh, yeah, fuck this.
Why now? I mean, on the national platforms, they've said that plenty of times about him, and it hasn't stirred anything up before. So why all of a sudden that Barkley? I just think this is typical ebb and flow of Deandre Ayton. I don't think it was anything to do with what Barkley said.
I disagree because he's never been – I can't recall too many times where people have directly gone at DA on the national scene like Charles Barkley did. Like he singled him out completely aside from the team, basically said he was garbage. And I could see it. I could see it.
I think it's you. I think you have caused this in DA.
I like to think so, but I'm not going to give myself
He's
that
like,
much
my
credit.
man Saul Bookman, the guy that's always had my back, has turned on me.
Yeah,
I must perform now.
I mean, listen, if other players can question Gerald, I'd be okay with it.
There you go.
I'll take one for the team.
A couple tidbits for tonight's game as far as the injuries go. Bees said, Saul, your boy Shamet is back, potentially. Actually, Shamet is back. We got the word just a little while ago. He is available for tonight's game. Of course, Chris Paul is not, and Cam Johnson is not. And then on the Jazz side, they're going to be without Mike Conley and Rudy Gay as well. So we will see Landry Shamet potentially play again for the Suns tonight. The question is, who's losing out on those minutes now?
Bye, Dwayne Washington.
Yeah. I mean, that's
bye. I hope you find your dad.
Dwayne Washington, Josh Okogie. I think those are the two spots you see.
Damn,
see some
Shamet comes in and just obliterates two guys. Jesus.
If only you could put all of them together into one.
Why?
One
I felt like Okogie and Washington were just fine.
Well, obviously Okogie isn't great offensively, and Dwayne Washington could use a little bump defensively. So just combine them into one player, and there you go.
By the way, Jewel in the chat wanted to know what jerseys we're wearing tonight. Saul and I are rocking the retro logo, so it's throwback night. It's 90s night out at the Footprint Center.
There you go. All right.
A little Saturday Night Fever.
So now that we know what happened last game, what we're hoping will happen this game, and all the injury report, who you guys got and by how much?
I got the Suns by 5.
Okay.
Give me the Suns. Oh, we did it. We're just missing 2. I had the Suns by 1. I feel like this Jazz team might just be one of those teams that this Suns team struggles with. So
I've got Suns by 3, and Gerald has Suns by 4. So we're all kind of hoping, we're anticipating a Suns win, but not by too much here. How does Vegas feel about this one?
Well, Vegas feels a little bit better than we do. They have the Suns as a 6-point favorite tonight at home.
I think the Suns will be
fine. This moved. Tonight. When I looked earlier today, it was 7.5.
Yeah. I mean, they heard Landry Shamet's back.
Come on, Espo. Give the guy a break.
Hey, let's go.
Give the guy a break. My gosh. We have a lot of people in the chat who are far more
optimistic.
Yes, thank you. Than we are.
Dicky Donkey likes him by 17.
Say why not?
Jose's got him by 8. Sundaris has him by 9. Rick's got him by 10. So shout out to you guys for coming with all the positive vibes tonight. The last thing we have for you again, sorry, it's a really short show today. Oh, wait, no, we have our picks. That's right.
Yeah, friend of the show, Darth Voida in the chat. Good to see you, buddy.
Hi.
Hi, Darth.
So our picks of the game over on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, I'm going with the over for DA points tonight at a plus 100. It's at 17.5 points. I honestly think he can get to the 20 mark. If he wants to, he can do it.
As a general rule of thumb, the only time DA hits the over is when I pick him to hit the over. So I expect him to hit the under tonight.
Wow. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. We will revisit this in the post.
But I do think he will score the first field goal at plus 380.
I took Utah Jazz first half money line at plus 180. The Suns just seem to have that kind of malaise in the first half a lot. I think the Jazz have enough to be up at halftime, but not by a lot.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I love that Gerald just hammers his bet. Anytime we play Utah, that's easy money. No, there's no Jazz in Utah.
I think the Suns, I have them winning by 5, but I think that's only because they will let down at the end of the game and the spread will come down. I think they're going to blow them out. I think in the first half they will dominate because they're at home. They didn't have to travel, and they didn't have to play the Warriors last night.
This is true. I just want to bookmark this little comment here from Pugs and Hugs. Said, might have to bet against the Suns tonight. And then Joel said plus 6 for the Jazz is a solid bet. So if we end up losing, just remember in the postgame show, we're all going to blame Pugs and Hugs and Joel.
But technically Joel agrees with us because we said Suns winning, but nobody had them over 6.
Yeah.
So a +6 on the Jazz
That's exactly right.
is a pretty good bet based on what we feel.
Yeah, but we don't want them to win.
No, but they wouldn't.
That doesn't mean they'll win.
I thought he was taking the Jazz to win at a +6.
No, what we did was we took the Jazz plus bet because you only bet that they would win by 4. If it's less than 6, then you think the Suns will win, but they will win by less than 6. That's the Jazz plus.
So he agreed with us.
Okay, well, sorry, Joel. I had my information wrong. My bad.
She came for your throat.
Darth says 3 + 3s for book easy money. I don't think so. I think he hits 2, maybe 3, but he's got to be over 3. I don't see it tonight.
Okay, well, we'll find out here in just a few minutes. Okay, for real this time, the last thing we have for you guys. We talked about it in the post-game show last night, but we didn't have the video for you, and now we do. The cutest video of the season so far. And if you don't agree with me, you can argue with your mom. This is Mikal, this is DA, D-Wash, Campaign, Books in the background a little bit, not really getting in the action. All dancing with a fan courtside, like a youngin', a little precious nugget.
Dwayne Washington Jr. on, I think it was Instagram, said they got super hyped because this kid knew every word to the song.
Did he?
And that's what got them so excited about it and why they kept dancing with him because he's rapping to the song for him. So I thought that was pretty awesome to get the little extra insight. You can see it there. He's singing.
That's awesome.
Also, he's rocking the sweet 90s hat and 90s Mikal Bridges throwback as well. Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of thing that sports is about. I'm guessing Mikal's his favorite player, and he got to do that, high five him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, could you imagine you're wearing a Mikal Bridges jersey, so you know you love Mikal already, and then you get this interaction with him?
It's phenomenal.
Life made. He's going to be telling that story the rest of his life.
Yeah, man. I said the same thing, and some people were like, yeah, but he's sitting courtside. I'm like, it doesn't matter. They do, there's moments that if you're around your favorite sports players and they say hi or whatever, those have impact. That kid's a lifelong Suns fan now.
Sure.
Nothing will ever shake that. I don't care if he's sitting courtside or he meets him at a lemonade stand that they throw for charity or whatever the case may be. Those moments define who you are as a sports fan, as an adult in the long way. We all have those moments.
I took Justin Spears, who's one of my best friends, who's seen DA, he's covered U of A, he's gone to Lakers games to cover the Lakers and stuff like that. I took him to game 2 of the first round of the NBA playoffs against the Lakers back when we went to the finals. I shouldn't have taken a Lakers fan, I know, but he'd always wanted to see LeBron. He didn't get a chance. So I was like, well, I have courtside tickets. Let's do it. And he comes out of the tunnel. He comes out at halftime. He sees LeBron waiting to inbound the ball, and LeBron's just facing dead at Justin. And Justin goes, "Get him, LeBron." And LeBron looks right in Justin's eyes. He goes, "I got you." Oh. And I was like, and that made Justin's whole night. And I was like, see, even as adults, we can even have a little moment like with these athletes. And listen, they just have such a platform. It's pretty dope when they get to interact with you and they make you feel like they're just like you.
The other thing too is that while it is, I feel like you can make the assumption that anybody sitting courtside probably has access to things that a lot of people don't have access to, but that's not always 100% true. Sometimes you can win them from a charity event. Sometimes you get them from your work. Sometimes somebody just throws you a huge W and is like, here's a pair of tickets. Go to a game.
He may not actually be in those seats. Sometimes ticket reps bring kids down courtside before a game too. So a lot of assumptions. I had a moment like that.
What was yours?
I think I was 11, and my dad. I get home from school, and my dad goes, "You're going to the Suns game tonight." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm not going. I'm going to drive you down. One of my friends has row 4 seats and only had one, so I said, "Will you take my son? I'll stay at the outside the arena and wait for you." Turned out to be when Charles Barkley scored his 20,000th point. Was one of my most favorite Suns memories. And then when I met Charles while I was working there, I had him autograph the ticket. And it came full circle. That's cool. That's like something I'll never forget, mostly because my dad went so far out of his way to let me. That was the closest I had ever been to an NBA game. I was usually up in the upper deck. Meant a lot to me.
Mine was, so my dad used to work at the Arizona Republic. And right after Charles Barkley got traded here to Phoenix, we had a camp, or there was like a camp for all the Arizona Republic kids on the practice court. And we're sitting there, and Connie Hawkins comes out, and he's like, everybody gets to shoot a 3. If you can make 2 in a row, I'll hook you up with a pair of shoes. And then Frank Johnson came out, and he was like, I'll even top it. I'll give you an autographed pair of shoes.
Ooh.
I missed my first one, but the ball bounced back to me, and there's like 50 kids shooting threes, right? And so I shot the second one, and I made the second one, and then I got the ball back, and I shot the third one, and I made the third one. So I technically made 2 in a row.
Just not the first
He
2.
said you had to make the first 2. And Frank literally looks at me. He's like, didn't you miss your first one? And then Connie literally goes, man, shut up and give it to the kid. And then we went up, and he shook my hand, and Connie's hands went all the way up my forearm. I'll never forget that. And they were like so soft. They were like pillows. And I got a pair of shoes autographed by Frank Johnson, and I got a brand new Charles Barkley poster that was autographed by Charles Barkley, which I still have.
Nice.
What? You never told me that. That's awesome.
I love those stories. I don't have any stories like that. I grew up in Sierra Vista, and I didn't get to come up to Phoenix very often. The only one I have is what I told you guys already. We came up here for a field trip, sat up at literally back to the wall in the arena. The only thing I really remember, I fell asleep during the game because I was real young. But I will say, just going to a game in general at that age I remember everything being so massive. Like, I was just in awe of how huge like the arena felt when I was a kid. And it was just like, this is bigger than anything I've ever experienced in my life.
I've got one more quick one.
Okay, hurry.
I was 9. I realized that Paul Westphal and I shared the same birthday, November 30th. Wrote him a note. He sent me an autographed card from his playing days back and a note saying it was really cool that we had the same birthday. Always loved Paul Westphal after that.
That's
as well.
cute.
Yeah.
Aw, look at all these cute little memories. If you guys think of some, you can come back post game and drop them in the chat. Maybe we'll revisit some of all of your guys' memories as kids too. We got to go. Thank you for joining us. As always, we'll see you here again after the game wraps up. Bye.
PHNX.
Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX.